Hey everyone, today I'll be talking about Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. I decided after doing some research and looking at some stuff that I will not be buying the game. After doing some research and I decided I'm not going to be playing this game. Now I could afford it. I do have the money to afford this brand new game, which is $60 for the smallest version. So I can't afford it. But I'm gonna let you guys know that I will not be playing it. So I'm Magic Man Scott 40K. Says right here, and I play Dawn of War. I've been playing it less and less lately. I just kind of got tired of it, but I can only play Dawn of War for so long before I get tired of it. But anyways, so let me talk about this game real quick. I know when a new Warhammer game comes out, everyone goes nuts and goes into like a frenzy. So let me talk about it for a bit. Let me start over from the beginning. Right now it's on like right now it's on auto scroll. I'm not scrolling it, it's doing it by itself. Okay, so first thing I want to say is the game does look really nice. This looks, a lot better than Dawn of War. It looks really good. Another thing I saw from these trailers is I believe Gabe Thorpe worked on this. I believe Gabe Thorpe worked on this game, and I believe Gabe Thorpe wrote like 4 or 5. I'm pretty sure he wrote 4 or 5 Horus Heresy books. If you look at the Horus Heresy books, there's like 60 of them, and I do count the Siege of Terra. I do count the Siege of Terra and Horus Heresy being like the same thing. And Gabe Thorpe did like 5 or 6 of those, and I think he's actually pretty good. I think Gabe Thorpe is way up there when it comes to writers. I think he's a pretty solid writer. So if I understand, the guys who made the Horus Heresy books worked on this. So it looks good. It has official backing from one of the actual writers. I can show you more pictures. This picture here sold me at first. I was like, oh, this looks great. This is exactly what I want in a game. This looks amazing. This is, exactly what I want. You'll notice here that the map is actually pretty small. I think there is a map maker in the game, but you notice here that the map's kind of small. This looks really good. That looks gorgeous. I have no idea how powerful these, I think they're called Stormcasts. I have no idea how powerful Stormcasts are, but I know these guys, was Lord of Change. I believe the Lord of Change can they're a threat to like a major city. They're a threat to like, they can probably take out a planet, to be honest with you. I think they're like planet level a threat. They're a huge threat. So I have no idea how strong these Eternal guys are. I'll tell you guys how much I know about Sigmar. I did watch a couple Sigmar videos, and I do have the Sigmar starting boxes. The starting boxes were really fun to paint and put together. I think they did a great job on that. the Sigmar boxes were really fun. So I do like Sigmar. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about this kind of stuff. So this right here, this screenshot, this also sold me on the game. I was like, oh, this looks great. This looks perfect. You can't ask for much better than this. Even if you have like the best computer in the world, this is what I expect. This is what I expect Sigmar to look like. Another issue I have with this game, Realms of Ruin, is even though it's brand new, it's 27 gigabytes, which is really small for a modern game. I think every modern game is like 80 gigabytes or more. But I guess if you're like a new player or on a budget, I guess it's not too bad. I hate this auto scroll thing. It makes this game a lot harder to discuss. Anyways, so you have your own. So this game comes with a painter. You can paint your army. Looks really good. Looks pretty fun. I think this would be something I'd be into. I do like to paint sometimes. I think I'd be into this. And I think there is a map maker in the game, which is pretty cool. Instead of downloading maps, you can just make your own map or whatever. So that's pretty cool. Demons look good. Basically every picture looks really good. You'll notice here that there's one building. This is your HQ, from what I understand. There's no real base building in Realms of Ruin. So if you go from Dawn of War to this, there's no base building. And I guess that makes sense because all these things are magical and extremely powerful. The only building that would make sense is probably a temple, because in Age of Sigmar there's tons of gods and godlike beings. So I guess it would make sense that they don't live in a wooden building. They're all godlike beings. So yeah, I'll tell you guys now that I'm pretty sure this game doesn't have base building. You just make an army and fight right away. There is map control, so that's kind of similar. If you play Dawn of War, there is a map control part of the game. I do like how the outside of the map, this is outside of the map, it's all decorated, which is nice. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to put anything here, but they decided to put something there just to look nice. This looks really good. This looks like some sort of picture mode. This looks gorgeous. When I think of Age of Sigmar, I think of this. This looks really, really good. And I think in the past, there were actually some actual Sigmar strategy games. I forget what the... I don't remember what the old Sigmar strategy games were, but I think Realms of Ruin is not the first one. There was actually a couple other Sigmar strategy games, but I can't think of them on the top of my head. But yeah, I think this looks great. This looks awesome. I actually really like the what is it called? Night Haunt? I think they're called like Night Haunt or something. This looks really cool. If I had to pick a faction, I'd probably pick the Night Haunt. Night Haunt looks awesome. But yeah, everything here looks really good. So yeah, it looks really good. Beastmen on some demons. That looks really nice. And it's nice to see Beastmen again. You don't see Beastmen too often. See right here, these white dots. That's part of the map control you have to do. Because there's no base building, and because it's mostly map control, it does remind me a bit of Dawn of War 2. So I guess if you're a Dawn of War 2 player, I think it'd probably be closer to this. See, that looks good. Is it just Lord of Change? The only demons I'm seeing so far is Lord of Change, which I guess is fine. You don't see Lord of Change too often. But yeah, all this looks really good. Banshees, you know. But yeah, I'm still not getting this game, even though I can afford it. And it doesn't take up that much space on my computer. 27 gigabytes is totally doable. It doesn't take up that much space on my computer. So the main reason I'm not getting Realms of Ruin is because I was looking at the multiplayer, and because there's no base building, and because the maps are kind of small, you just really, all you do is you make like 2 or 3 squads, and you just, you know, hit each other, and that's basically it. And some of the reviews I seen down here, some of the negative reviews was there's no like formations, there's no stances, there's no, you just hit each other. There's no like button, you know, there's no like, you can't really outsmart each other in this game. You just make an army and you fight without formations, without stances. You just kind of run into each other and fight, which is pretty disappointing. And because there's no base building, I have to imagine your build order is the same every time. But who knows? I haven't played it. So yeah, that's basically the reason I'm not getting Age of Sigmar, Realms of Ruin. I took one look at the multiplayer. I seen some gameplay. Now it was casual gameplay, but I am a casual player. You'll never see me in a tournament or anything. I was looking at the casual gameplay, the multiplayer, and I was very disappointed. It's just, you know, 2 or 3 squads hitting each other. I guess if you like Dawn of War 2, it has Dawn of War 2 vibes to it. You know, I guess Dawn of War 2 was probably the most popular one, from what I understand. After doing some research, I do think Dawn of War 2 was probably the most popular, even though I was never a big fan of it. I'm not a Dawn of War 2 guy. I'm really not. I do think the graphics are great. They absolutely nail the graphics. But other than that, Dawn of War 2 is just not. I'm not a big fan of it. So yeah, I took one look at the multiplayer, and it was just very, very disappointing. Now I'm not gonna show you that because it is someone else's video. I'm not gonna do like a reaction video. Also not a big fan of, you know, showing someone else's work. So, but yeah, I'm here to tell you now that the multiplayer looks very disappointing. But the game does look gorgeous. So there's that. And yeah, I just don't plan on buying it. Now Rogue Trader looks very promising. You can have a Space Marine and a Dark Eldar help you out. And from what I understand, you can be like any starting faction. You can be a Commissar, you can be a Pirate, you can be a Space Marine. Your starting character can be like whatever you want. So Rogue Trader looks very promising. It seems like it's different every time, which I enjoy. Oh yeah, I should mention another thing. Another game which had a lot of backing, and I kind of gave up on. You know, there's another game out there that had a lot of backing from the actual Warhammer guys. You know, people who made Warhammer, and that was Chaos Gate, the Grey Knight game, the Chaos Gate. That game had a lot of support from the Warhammer company, and that one I gave up on because I seen people beat the game, but I'm not sure how. Every time you win a fight, the game gets harder, and unless you win every single fight, it just becomes impossible. If you lose one fight in Chaos Gate, I'm not sure how you recover from that. Losing a fight in Chaos Gate is extremely punishing, to the point where you just kind of uninstall the game. Now you can go into options and change whatever you want. You can make the game a lot easier, but that's not how I like to do it. I like to play the game the way it was intended. And with Chaos Gate, if you play the game as intended, it's extremely punishing, I think. And I'm not a huge fan of that. It made me not really want to play the game anymore. But Chaos Gate was pretty cool. I do think it had good ideas and all that. Especially the ship you're on. I think the ship you're on was amazing. You know, having a tech priest, having a inquisitor. I think all of that was really cool. But yeah, I want to let you guys know that I'm not going to be making any videos on this, I think. Maybe it gets good later. It did come out recently, so who knows. But I'm pretty sure I'm just not going to be making videos about this game. And there's a couple Warhammer games that I'm just not gonna make videos on. I'm not gonna make videos on every, you know, Warhammer game. Now I do have $30, and I did go shopping on Steam, and I checked out the most popular games, and I tried to find a game that I would like, and Steam has basically every game ever. It doesn't have... There's a couple games I noticed were missing, but it has... Steam pretty much has every game ever, except for a couple games out there. And, I'm actually having a really hard time. Finding a new game to play. You know, I got $30. I figured finding a new game or buying DLC would take like 2 seconds, because Steam has every game. And I'm actually running into a lot of issues. So there's actually a pretty good chance that I'm not going to be playing the most popular games out there, the ones with like the highest reviews. My biggest problem with that is the multiplayer would make or break it. If I get like a brand new modern game and the multiplayer is either really good or really bad, it would really depend on the state of the multiplayer, if I like it or not. So it's actually really hard for me to find a game I like. And for the single player games, I find the single player games pretty risky, and because they're risky, I do end up researching it. You know, how long is the single player game? Is there like secrets or Easter eggs? Is there like side missions? So when it comes to single player games, I've been researching them, and so far, after like hours and hours and hours, I haven't found a game that I liked. So I'm actually having a pretty difficult time. I thought spending $30 on Steam would be a piece of cake, but I'm actually having a difficult time finding a game I like. There's a couple genres that I just do not like, and I'm trying to avoid it at all costs. Mostly roguelikes. I'm not a huge roguelike guy. I played a few in the past, and basically they're just too ambitious. You know, when they decide to change everything. Sorry. When they decide to change everything, you know, when they try to change the save system, when they try to change the checkpoint system, when they try to change the movement, when they try to change the combat, you know, that's why I avoid roguelikes. You won't see me record videos of that. I'm just not a fan of roguelikes. And I'm also not a huge fan of the random map. You know, every roguelike has random map generation, and I'm just not a huge fan of that. And I did play Remnant of the Ashes, and Remnant of the Ashes has random maps, but that game is just entertaining, just non-stop. And I think that's really nice. Some random maps you get, and it's just really boring. But every random map I got on Remnant was fun. So I got lucky there. But I still think roguelikes and single player games are risky, unless you're like a long-time fan. If it's like a sequel, then I think it'd be alright. But if it's like a brand new game, I basically have to do a lot of research before I play it. And after researching Realms of Ruin, I decided that I'm not getting it. So this is basically a long winded video saying I'm not gonna be playing it. Unless the multiplayer changes drastically, I'm just not gonna play it. Also, it says here, I didn't even notice this. I should have noticed this at first. It says here that there's 4 factions, and if you guys know Sigmar, there's like 20 factions or more. There's easily like 20 factions or more in Sigmar. But I mean, they look good. Like, this looks good. This looks good. Everything looks good. You know, everything looks great. But yeah, there's a pretty good chance I'm not going to be playing the most popular games out there. I just don't have an interest in that. And there's a pretty good chance that I'm not going to be playing... I'm not a huge fan of indie games. There's a lot of indie games out there that left a bad taste in my mouth. So basically what I'm looking for are the AA games. The AA games are the ones I trust the most. They're not too fancy. They're usually low budget. They have some quality behind it. So really what I'm looking for are the AA games. That's kind of what I'm interested in. And yeah, I guess you would call this a AA game. I'm not sure how big Frontier Developments is. I actually have no idea. I have no idea how big that studio is. But I'm pretty sure this is a AA game. But again, the multiplayer just is not. It's not for me. Maybe it's fun, but it's just not for me. And yeah, I have no idea what the DLC is. I have no idea what the difference between these versions. If I had to guess, it's not much. If I had to guess, the difference between this and this is not a lot. It is an RTS, so you can't buy, you know, there's no way you can buy an advantage, right? So I'm pretty sure this stuff here, I'm pretty sure it's like nothing. But whatever. Anyways, I guess that's it for the video. I'm going to spend like the next couple hours or maybe even a couple days trying to figure out what to spend the money on. I might just end up buying DLC, which I'm hoping to avoid. I'm not a huge DLC guy. I'm not a huge fan of that practice. I'm not a huge fan of DLC. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I've been rambling for a while. Just telling you guys why I'm not going to be playing this. I do like Sigmar. I think Sigmar is cool. But, yeah, I'm not going to be playing this. Yeah, that's the video. Hopefully it came out alright. I just kind of turned on the camera and started talking. No real plan. So hoping this video came out alright. And yeah, guess that's it. Bye.